Okay, in this video, we're going to look at multiplying and dividing whole numbers by powers of 10. So what I did was I created these boxes. You have access to these as well, and they're in the sleeves. You may have to label them so that you have the ones, place, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. We don't need anything in the decimal places right now since we are just working with whole numbers. So as we discussed with place value, when I have a number in the ones place and then I have a number next to it, one space over, every time we move over to a new place value, if we're moving to the left, we get 10 times bigger. So we're going to focus our problems with getting 10 times bigger or 100 times bigger. So for example, if we have the problem 5 times 10 to the third power, we already discussed that 10 to the third power is the same as 1,000. So the exponent is 3, there should be 3 zeros. But the exponent also tells me how many places I'm going to shift. So because 10 to the third power means 10 times 10 times 10, I'm going to move 10 times 10 times 10. I'm going to shift those 3 places in my place value chart. So we put the number that we start with wherever it is. So if that were 50, you would mark it as a 50, but in this case it's a 5. The multiplication tells me that my number is going to be getting bigger because I'm multiplying by a whole number. So anytime we multiply by a whole number, our product has to get larger. So I know that I need to shift my numbers to the left to get a bigger number. And the 10 to the third power tells me I'm going to do that shift 3 times. So I'm going to shift once, twice, 3 times. So I'm going to put that 5 there since that's what I did was shift it 3 times. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in my zeros. So 5 times 10 to the third power is 5,000. Or 5 times 1,000 is 5,000. If we have 420 times 10 to the second power, we're going to do this the exact same way. So we're going to go ahead and write in our 420. And 10 to the second power is the same as 100. So we want to make this 100 times bigger. We know that each jump is 10 times bigger. And I want to make 2 jumps because I want to make it 100 times bigger. So I'm going to jump once and I'm going to jump twice. Every value or every digit also jumps twice. So that 0 jumps twice. And then we just fill in with zeros. Oops. So we get 42,000. So 420 times 10 to the second power is 42,000. So I have 176 times 10 to the second power. So again, that is times 100. I want to make it 100 times bigger. That means that I'm going to take 2 shifts on my place value chart. So I'm going to jump once, twice. And again, every number shifts twice. So you can see this guy goes twice, this guy goes twice, and the 6 goes twice, and I fill in my 2 zeros. So 176 times 10 to the second power is 17,600. When we do division, we're going to do it the exact same way. The only difference is we're going to be shifting in the opposite direction. When I divide by a whole number, my quotient should get smaller. So if I have 56,000 and I want to divide it by 10 to the first power, I'm going to go ahead and write in my 56,000. And again, we're dividing, so it means I'm going to shift to the right. And I'm going to shift by 10 to the first power is just 10, so I'm going to make it 10 times smaller, which means I'm just going to make one jump to the right. So I get 5,600. All right, so this one we're going to look at 430,000 divided by 10 to the third. So I'm going to put my 430,000 in my chart. And since I'm dividing, I'm shifting the numbers to the right because I want them to get, in this case, 1,000 times smaller. 10 to the third power is 1,000. So the exponent tells us how many zeros there are. So I'm going to jump once, twice, 3 times. So my 4 needs to go here, and then my 3 and 0 fill in. So again, I've gone 3 times with that number, 3 jumps with that one, and 3 jumps with the 0. So 430,000 divided by 10 to the third power is 430. Let's do one last one. Let's do 1,000, no, we'll do 10,000 or 12,400. And we want to divide by 10 to the second power. So I'm going to put my 12,400 in. And since I'm dividing, I'm moving to the right. I want my number to get smaller. And I'm dividing by 10 to the second power, which is the same as 100. This 2 tells me I have 2 zeros. I'm making 2 jumps. So I'm going to jump once, twice. So my 1 should be here. I'm going to fill in my numbers. So you can see that the 1 came over 2 jumps, the 2 came over 2 jumps, and the 4 came over 2 jumps. So each digit in that number moves the same number of spaces that are in your exponent. So our answer is, so it's 12,400 divided by 10 to the second power is 124. And that's how you multiply and divide whole numbers by powers of 10.